Hi guys, sorry for the delay. Did not mean to have all kinds of technical difficulties this afternoon. Let me tell you. Earlier today, we had a guilty plea of 2 counts in court in Indiana related to the July 4th and 5th incident of domestic violence by Amber Portwood on to Andrew Glennon. There's been some questions about the details. The court updated all of the information while I was streaming. I was able to download a copy of it and grab you a clip so you can actually see it. I'm going to read this to you first, and then I'm going to give you exclusive audio of Andrew's statement that he made in court. Now, the recording was made after he was in court and provided to a family member because no family members were actually able to be there. The family member provided me this after he provided it to them. Such a mess. But they felt like it would be helpful for you to hear what the impact has been on him and what Amber heard in court when she was confronted with Andrew. Now, in court, this is how it all played out. She was given a term of 106 days of probation, which is she was given 2 days of credit, leaving her with 906 days of suspended sentence, which is around 5 years. And it says probation for 906 days, 906 days would be 2 years, 2.5 years. No, yeah, 2.5 years. Judgment of conviction shall be not entered and set for a hearing 2.5 years from date of sentencing for discussion. If defendant successfully completes probation, defendant waives right to be sentenced within 30 days. AMS at the back end, if successfully completes probation, defendant may leave Marion County and or the state of Indiana for employment purposes. Any other travel requires not pertaining to employment are subject to approval upon advance request. The state shall be required to prove any alleged violation of probation by a preponderance of evidence. If the state meets this burden, she is sanctioned to 5 years in the Indiana Department of Correction. 2.5 years per count to run consecutively by agreement of the parties in an event of a proven violation. The defendant is still able to present or argue mitigating circumstances with the court can consider in determining the appropriate sanctions. However, it is the intent of the parties that a proven violation will result in 5 years executed in the Indiana Department of Corrections. Provided there are no proven violations of the probation, count 1 will be dismissed and count 4 will be given alternative misdemeanor sentences upon the defendant's successful completion of probation. She is ordered to take parenting classes of 26 weeks, battering classes of 26 weeks, doctor treatment provider if accepted by probation. Defendant must waive privilege and allow probation access to all records for treatment regarding BIP. And then she also has to undergo a mental health evaluation and treatment. She has to go through a substance abuse evaluation, and she has to go through regular urinalysis, random urine, and breath testing as a special condition. The testing will be done at the request of the probation officer at a minimum of 1 time per month within 24 hours of request. She is to have no contact. That will be modified to be so that they can communicate about the minor child, which they will be using the family app, Our Family Wizard, for the sole purpose of arranging visitation for James. So this was what was in court. Some people were saying, well, she's only going to get a misdemeanor, this, that, the other thing. She's got a lot to do. She also has to meet the requirements of probation, meaning that she cannot consume alcohol. She cannot be around anyone consuming alcohol. She cannot be around anyone with a felony. She cannot be around anyone with using drugs or alcohol. She's got a lot that she's going to have to meet here. So if she does meet these requirements, goes through all of the different courses, takes parenting classes, gets help for her domestic battery, also gets help for her mental health, and actually goes through substance abuse treatment, she could successfully have this reduced to a misdemeanor. At current, she has pleaded guilty to 2 felonies. Okay? Now, Earlier today, Andrew Glennon spoke in court, and he gave a impact statement to the court and to Amber during this. Again, this recording was made after the fact for a family member, so they could hear. Andrew did not have family in court with him when he made this statement, and I will play that now.
To say that our family is broken in one night is an understatement. The reality of what brought us here transpired over a period of a year and many months. It dates back to the first time you hit me in the face while I was driving you and our son on a highway in the pouring rain to make it to your daughter's school on time to see her off. That moment when the first blood was drawn was when you deemed me an enemy, a liability to your career because I wouldn't take your abuse and keep my mouth shut. Gary, your ex, was an admitted witness to the attack, along with 2 brave teachers and 1 parent. It was after that day, August 7th, 2018, that you grew more and more comfortable abusing me, neglecting our son, and separating yourself from us as a family. Not a day would go by where your screaming and violence would not be felt by myself, by James, by our nanny, or anybody who would be in the house long enough. You have stripped us of too many precious first memories together. Days when all 3 of us should have been at our happiest in life, and you have darkened every holiday I can remember with you. For this all to happen on the 4th of July fits that pattern to a T, and here we are on Halloween in court for something that never should have happened and was entirely avoidable. That night was one of the scariest nights of my life, and my mind replays the worst moments to no end. And for you to go on national television and downplay your atrocious behavior as if nothing happened is so shameful. You stated in that interview that if someone were chasing me with a weapon like that, I'd be running out the door. Yet you failed to let the public know that I am legally handicapped by way of an ankle fusion. I cannot run, or that I was holding our son at the time of the attack. But more importantly, that when you came at us, we were on the 2nd floor of the house, up 2 flights of stairs. I got away as fast as I possibly could from you, and yes, I did consider leaping down 2 flights of stairs with our son in my arms, but I'm glad I did not. He could have gotten seriously hurt. That same consideration was not displayed by you while you were throwing full force punches at me, missing his head by inches as I held him in my arms. When I've begged you to please stop shouting and cursing in front of our infant, your reply was, "It doesn't matter, he's just a baby." He's not just a baby, he's your son. But you have forgotten that time and again and have carelessly put his life and mine in serious danger. You cannot control yourself in your fits of rage, and I know you will be forever torn inside about not having custody of your daughter, but you have allowed that pain to destroy your relationship with your son, and you have pushed away a man who loved you so unconditionally and fully, who only wanted to help you regain your health and show you true happiness. The damage you have caused this family is irreparable, and the reason it can't be repaired is lack of ownership. The one glaring truth is that that is omitted from this deal was done so for the sole sake of you being able to keep your job, and that is all. Because after all, a mother displaying such horrendous actions against her soulmate and child wouldn't be a tolerated motherly action. Yet swinging uncontrollably inches from your child's head, that apparently is right on the line of acceptance today. You've saved your job, but you've lost your family. But fear not, the truth will get out there. After you were arrested, you have publicly accused me of kidnapping, car theft, cheating, stealing, gaslighting, violence, soliciting prostitution, and money laundering. Yet once all your stories of deflection came out, not long after, I was contacted by your manager and attorney stating you would like to reconcile with me and get back together. A slick attempt to getting everything dropped. That is the same as being hugged and stabbed in the back at the same time. What type of woman are you to want to be with such a vile man, if that is the case? You have done nothing but attack me online and in the press, yet behind closed doors you want your family back? You never even made a formal apology for ripping our family apart in the first place. I hope you find your heart, that you finally can heal, that you can truly forgive yourself for all the terrible stuff you've done in your life, and that happiness will finally come to you. The psychological abuse you have subjected me to will take years to overcome. I am feeling the fallout of it now, and the healing process is terrifying. James is doing great, but he needs his mother to be healthy. Be a mother for once in your life, or don't. It doesn't matter to me. But that boy is going to have a happy life, and that is now certain. I was a single father before ever becoming a single father. I saved my son. I saved my son's life on the 4th of July. You destroyed our family on the 4th of July. This is how it will be celebrated. But I hope that changes. But I hope that changes to being celebrated as the 4th of July, the first day towards you saving your own life. If not for yourself, then for your 2 beautiful children.
Wow. That's the second time I've listened to that, and that is so emotional and so powerful. And it's heartbreaking, you know? Like, according to that statement, her inability and her loss of Leah has prevented her from moving forward in her life and becoming the mother that she could have been to James. And now she has 2 children. She's lost the chance to be with James, only with supervised visitation. Leah is now and has continued to be with Gary and her stepmother, Christina. These are 2 children that will effectively grow up without a mother. I mean, on Instagram Live, she said that the best thing that you can do as a mother is, sometimes give them up. I mean, that was her justification, was that by the time she got out of prison, Leah had been with Gary for so long, and so she just allowed her to stay there, and that's what you do as a mother. And I thought, that's not what you do as a mother. If you're a mother, you do everything you can to take care of your health, your mental health, your career, every aspect of your life, your relationships, to ensure that you have your children. No child wants to live without their mother. And now there are 2. That statement is so heartbreaking. The thought of him running and fleeing and thinking about jumping down 2 flights of stairs to get away from her, running and charging at him with a machete, is unbelievable and unfathomable to think about. The fact that he was so terrified, he considered doing that despite the fact that he has a fused ankle and he can't run. I can't imagine what he went through on that day. I can't imagine how scared he was. And it's true that if she does take this plea agreement and she uses it to her full effects and she gets all the help that she can, this could be life-changing. But in court, she was defiant, and she argued with the judge about aspects of the court. And I still don't even know if she apologized. He stated in his statement she has never apologized to him for what happened. Imagine being convicted and she's doing this plea agreement in order to save her career and theoretically doesn't apologize to the people that she did this to, but rather is arguing about not seeing her child and apparently, allegedly upset and angry and disputing some of the charges she's pleading to. It's clear that Andrew victims have to be willing to sign off on plea agreements. They have to agree. They have to be willing to give up a trial to move forward. And it's clear that he is giving up a fight and allowing her to get help for the betterment of his son. But in the meantime, his son is without a mother, and now he is a single father. I just can't imagine that heartbreak. That was a powerful statement by him. And I really hope for the best that Andrew continues to get the help that he needs, that James gets the help that he needs, that Amber gets the help that she needs. This is a vicious cycle, and I hope that Andrew does not ever find himself in a relationship like this again. And I hope that this can be the time that Amber actually breaks the cycle and takes a step forward and gets help. There are millions of people every day struggling with mental illness. There are millions of people every day with mental illness not committing acts of violence against their loved ones. There are millions of people every day not using their mental health as an excuse to be abusive or as an excuse to basically do nothing but sit on a couch and live in fear. She might be or feel paralyzed by her mental illness in one breath, but in the next, I really hope she does realize how this isn't just about mental illness, this is about a choice. And she's made a lot of really crappy choices. And I hope today she takes and makes the choice to actually be remorseful and actually be a redemption story where she can be the mother and the woman that she's supposed to be, not the one that she has become. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this. There'll be more updates coming related to this case. Hang tight. It's going to be a very busy day for T. Bye, guys.